Hello, tiny phone people. So, a pen for a change. It's not notebook related. Yeah, I've been recommended quite a lot of the times on Amazon. Every time I'm on there looking for stationery, the Asvine line of pens keeps popping up, and I thought I'll give it a go. They look to me very similar to the Majoron range or the Pen V PBS. This is the Asvine V126. Comes in a nice cardboard box in a nice plastic box, branded Asvine. You can see that just down here. Full set of instructions for this. Go into this a little bit. It's a fountain pen, as you probably guessed, because I am a bit of a fountain pen user. Plastic case. Probably never going to see the plastic case ever again. A little bit of a plastic bag. Plastic be gone. And then this is a frosted, what feels to be acrylic pen in a frosted black grey, black nibs and accessories. First impressions feels very good in the hand. Does post. I'm not a big user of posting pens, but does post. And this is a vacuum filler. So these are interesting. I'll probably do a video about fountain pens in more depth, but basically, from unscrewing the rear of the pen, this releases pressure here, which allows ink to go into the section and into the unit, into the nib unit. And to fill them, you pull back the plunger, place it in the ink, push it down. When it gets to a certain point, it clicks and it sucks the ink into the body of the pen. You then tighten it back up, which seals it off. There will be some ink in the nib unit from when it's being sucked in. You can then write with that. If you're doing a very long writing session, which I don't do very often, so never really affects me too much, you can just loosen off the back. That releases the pressure down here, which allows the ink to flow to the nib without any problems. And then from there, you can just write to your heart's content until all of the ink inside here is used up, which is quite a lot of ink. To use all that in a writing session, I think your hand would be sore way before you ran out of ink. I've never used an entire ink cartridge, but on average 1.5 to 2.5 milliliters of ink will go into a fountain pen, especially a vacuum. And yeah, that's a lot. I don't know. Anybody that uses fountain pens would know the amount. It's quite extreme. This feels really good. Amazon, not overly expensive, £35. So not one of my most expensive pens. Way more than a Bic or a Biro or Beryl pen, but from a fountain pen terms, it's probably one of the cheaper end. Give you a bit of a scale in case you have got some pens yourself. Lamy All-Star. Kaweco Sport. This is the aluminium one. Give you a bit of a size comparison. Lamy 2000. What else have we got? We've got a Conklin. I'm not sure which one that is. One I've had for a little while is that, and an Avocado. So from the size of it, you see it's a pretty average pen. Feels good. which is, as we've said previously in my videos, how a product feels will decide whether I like it more than whether it's any good in some cases. It's going to be an interesting one. What I will do is stop now, stick some ink into this. I'll probably go with some Robert Oster signature ink. This is the bronze ink, which I currently use in my traveler's notebook in my Lamy Safari. So I'll probably put that in just because it's there and I don't have to move that far. Or I could try Earl Grey from Diamine, but that's what tends to be in my Lamy 2000. So because I want to use this as an EDC pen, I think this might go on my traveler's notebook. Let me just quickly grab it. It might take over from my Safari. Yeah, it does fit in there. So it might go in there, along with the one that's got the orange ink in, and sit just on the front there. So yeah, let's put some ink in it and see how we get on. So, back from filling it up. Just a little bit of ink on my finger. It's quite a good way of doing it without getting too messy. You can see now, hopefully you can see now anyway, the ink sloshing around inside. I got quite a good fill just from one use, so that's good. Paper. What should we use? With my pencil sharpener. Let's sharpen the back. I've obviously tested a few pens on here. This is Kyoko. I can't pronounce it, but it's part of the book, one of my early things. And I've also got a Rhodia pad in here. So I do use this for testing papers quite a lot. So this is the Asvine V126, I believe. Yes, it is. They only do a fine nib, which is fine for me. Fine. Because I quite like using fine nibs. I will use mediums every now and again, but considering this is straight out of the box, delivered yesterday from Amazon, I'm absolutely amazed with this. The fine is slightly broader than my Lamy Safari. It's an All-Star actually, it's not a Safari. All-Star. And it lays the ink down ever so slightly differently. So this one seems darker when I'm using it as opposed to the other one. So you see more of the colour of the bronze, because the bronze is not quite dark black. It's a browny greeny colour. Yeah. So it's ever so slightly different, but not too different. And that's on this paper. On a white paper, like Rhodia. Sorry if you can hear the dog in the background. He's decided he wants to play ball again. writes brilliantly. For the price, I don't think you can go wrong with that. I've got pens of much higher value in my collection that do not write as well as that does. So in full transparency, paid with my own money for this. Ordered from Amazon, came next day. They recommended it to me every time I've bought some stationery for the past 3 weeks, so they must be having some sort of push to try and get people to purchase it, and it's obviously worked. I did watch a YouTube video on it, and someone mentioned that when they screw the lid on, it's got a double start, so you can screw it on in multiple locations, and they noticed that the clip lined up with the, you won't be able to see it because I can't focus in, with the writing that's there that just says Asvine. And then when you screwed the nib on, the unit into the lid, the nib inside didn't line up with the clip. This one does. So I'm thinking that they've actually seen that video potentially and decided to fix it, because it's working perfectly for me. So yeah, interesting. Anybody else using fountain pens? Are they something that you use every day? I mean, I tend to use this one the most. Small, it fits with my notebook. I do also have Lamy 2000 and Lamy All-Star. I have a Lamy Safari in multiple colours, and then obviously there's a selection here at the side. But day-to-day use, this is in my pocket every day. And so is this, and they live on here, as you know. But I think this may be getting swapped out for this one, for the Asvine. Should be an interesting few days of usage, that and seeing how it takes on other paper maybe. What are your thoughts? Thank you very much. See you later, tiny phone people.